is who is the reason why we're all here. And I would like to welcome her so she can also say a few words. So please put your hands together and your feet, everything, and do a woo for the incredible Miss Hope Azeda.
Thank you. I love Sonia. Sonia is, when did we meet Sonia?
2004.
2004. And she was acting several things, but one of my most moments I can never forget sharing with Sonia was her name, Mama Africa, in a comedy we're doing for a visiting guest from Northern Ireland. So we were given a task to do a piece of theater about a guest of honor that was about to arrive in Rwanda, and that was a special minister from Northern Ireland. And they said, do something, and do something funny. We don't want to sleep, we don't want to do anything. Then we said, why don't we do a performance about the Irish brown bread? Because that's what I had eaten then, that I love Irish brown bread. It really tastes good. So she was performing a piece trying to prepare a bread for the guest of honor. And that's how Sonia, we call her Mama Africa. So Sonia, thank you for all the warmth and energy always bring on board Mama Africa, and talk soon. Thank you so very much, everyone, for coming. I'm not the reason why you're here. You're here because it was meant to be. This is a written script. Some things that happen in our lives are meant to be there. We only need to make ourselves like open vessels, and the script will write itself, right? Am I lying? Make yourself an open vessel, and the rest will be history. That's all I am, just an open vessel. Every idea for me works, and every idea is gold. I thank you so much for coming. This is one of my special moments. This is when we just sit to relax and talk a little bit about what we are doing. Ambassador, so thank you so very millions for coming. And Ambassador Masoza, thank you so much for coming. I'm not going to introduce all these people because they have a special introduction when they come to talk to us. But culture exchange program on culture diplomacy is one thing that I'm very passionate about, because we've been doing it as artists, but we don't know. We never add the word diplomacy, but we are doing diplomacy all the time. When Turkish dancers meet Turkish dancers meet Rwandan dancers, that's already culture diplomacy. And they learn about different cultures and learn about different countries through dance, through doing. There's a Chinese proverb I really love called, we learn by doing. So without doing, we artists, we just learn by doing. If you tell me things without me being part of the story, I don't learn anything. So I just want to thank you so very much for coming. I'll not spend any much more of your time. I'll pass this microphone, just giving you a special warm welcome. Please don't feel like you're in a conference. That's why we called it a conference. Just like lie on your back, stand up, do whatever you want, but just be part of this conversation. Thank you so very much, and most welcome.
Thank you so much, Hope. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like she said, so I think the energy in the clap should be more. Since it's not, there we go. Okay, oh, we're getting there, we're getting there. I'd like to say a quick thank you to our sponsors: Aegis, Swiss Embassy, American Embassy, Conscious Crypto Creator Initiative by Arts Help, Embassy of Rwanda in Israel, Australian High Commission in Nairobi, Embassy of Germany, Ubumwe Grand Hotel, Eunice Emery Institute, Goethe Institute, and Wazobia FM Lagos, and the Tony Randall Theoretical Fund. So I have the pleasure to introduce the next person who's going to speak to us. And of course, I want to hear the same loud clap. I can see people already. I love it. All right. I would like to introduce the Turkish ambassador to Rwanda, Ms. Burcu Çervik. I hope I said it right. Okay, great.
Thank you, Sonia. And good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be with you this afternoon. And I'm also very excited to host, the dancers who are going to perform you in a little while, a Turkish traditional dance, but the dancers are Rwandan. So we're going to do a really, really cultural diplomacy. Let me start by thanking the organizers of the Ubumuntu Arts Festival and the sponsors and all these, participants here taking part and making this conference really a success. Personally, it is my second time to participate in the Ubumuntu Arts Festival. Now, my first time was 2019, before the pandemic. And at that time, Turkey, I should say Turkey. By the way, we changed our name to Turkey, just to remind everyone. Turkey was participating in the festival with the shadow theater, that we call it Karagöz and Hacivat. But I think this time is more lively because this is going to be a dance. So we'll see how it's going to take place. But I'm really excited myself. Dear friends, I'm not going to take your time too much. But I'm a diplomat, and I joined Turkish Foreign Service in 1996. So within this 26 years, when I entered the ministry, we just had a small section on cultural diplomacy. And everybody was trying to work in other departments, in political, military cooperation, all these hardcore diplomacy issues at that time. And those who were sent to the diplomatic, cultural diplomacy section, where they were a little bit disappointed, saying that, oh, are we forgotten within the foreign service? Now we're going to deal with cultural issues only. But now, after 26 years, we have a Directorate General in charge of cultural diplomacy with 3 different deputy Director Generals dealing with cultural diplomacy efforts of Turkey. So this brings me to the fact that, diplomacy is not the same diplomacy anymore. Now we are talking about, yes, politics, military, hardcore diplomatic issues are still very important. But I think everybody around the world understood the fact that, soft power also makes a great difference in achieving your desired results. And conflicts are forever. Conflicts will be everywhere. Conflicts will be in our daily life. Conflicts will be among the states, in different regions of the world. But there are different ways of resolving these conflicts. And definitely I'm not going to say cultural diplomacy is the only key, but cultural diplomacy is one of the important keys that we have, or tools we have in our hand. And Rwanda, with this Ubumuntu Arts Festival, is actually promoting cultural diplomacy very well. I have to congratulate them, first of all, for this effort. And public diplomacy, cultural diplomacy, economic diplomacy is now, I think, becoming more and more popular and more influential in shaping diplomacy. And the very essence of diplomacy is what it is actually communication. And at the essence of communication, we have the human being. So what we are doing is actually trying to understand each other. And culture, in promoting this empathy, promoting our way of communication, is getting really more and more important. And Ubumuntu itself, or the Ubuntu philosophy, which puts human being at the very center, is actually the very essence of the cultural diplomacy. I am because you are. This is our philosophy. This is our motto, actually. And whatever we're doing is actually for the human beings. When we realize this fact, I think the world will be a more peaceful place for everybody. We can look at many different dividing factors, both in our daily lives and in relations between states. But we should make a deliberate choice in looking at what unites us. Because at the very end, we are all human beings. We are the same, even if we come from different backgrounds. And if we learn and we choose what unites us rather than what divides us, I think this will be the key actually in promoting dialogue between countries and peoples. That's why I have to congratulate Rwanda once more again, because Rwanda is a country which has chosen to focus on uniting rather than dividing factors in its nation-building efforts. This Ubumuntu festival in itself is actually a good indication to show the world that you can unite if you deliberately choose it. And that's why I attach, a great value in this Ubumuntu Arts Festival, and I take really pride in contributing more this year in this good effort. And today, of course, we have UNOSEMRE Cultural Institute helping me. Unlike 2019, they were not here in 2019. But since last year, UNOSEMRE Cultural Institute of Turkey is present in Rwanda. They have an office within University of Rwanda, and they're offering Turkish classes, but also promoting Turkish culture. And this dance performance that we're going to see today actually will be their first contribution in the cultural diplomacy. That's why I want to congratulate them for their efforts. And today, actually, we were planning to have someone from UNOSEMRE Institute from Ankara, but because of the 8 holidays in Turkey, they couldn't come actually. But I'm with you at least, if I may say so. And really, in the future, we will be having more presence from UNOSEMRE Cultural Institute in Kigali. And I'm also looking forward to more contribution, more collaboration between our countries in promoting our joint efforts of joy. So, without taking your time too much, I would like to thank everyone, including our panelists here, and the participants, and the organizer once more, and wish success for the success of the Ubumuntu Arts Festival. Thank you so much. Murakoze cyane.
All right, thank you so much, Ambassador. And I think we can prepare for the performance that she mentioned. All right, so I will welcome to the stage, I hope I say it right, Turk Halk Oyunları? Turkish traditional dance. Let's give them a round of applause as they prepare to come and
This dance, we're taking you to Black Sea region of Turkey because we have different traditional dances representing different geographical regions in Turkey. So this is from Black Sea region. And maybe our instructor is going to tell you the story behind the dance later, so I'm not going to interfere in that.
Thank you so much again, Ambassador. All right, let's get into the performance. I think we're all energized after that. Yeah? The quick footwork, are we all energized? Who wants to come and try it? No? Nobody? Sure? No one? Oh, it's okay. Next time. Tomorrow. Yeah? That was amazing. I think they deserve another round of applause. That was very energizing. Amazing, amazing. And I would like to invite the ambassador back on for a little gift-giving ceremony. I think they do deserve a really nice gift for everything that they've shown us. So let me call back the dancers.
They must be exhausted, I think.
I think they went to get that coffee that you were drinking before.
So we can maybe just have them on.
Yes, they can stay.
So I think a very big thanks should go to Mr. Soner. Mr. Soner Satı is actually a professional dancer, performing Turkish traditional dances within the context of Turkish Ministry of Culture. And he was very kind to come to Kigali to help us in this project and train our Rwandan dancers here. And he did an amazing, amazing job. So thank you, a huge thank you to Mr. Soner. We have the medals.
Tek tek verin. Evet. Çok teşekkür ederiz efendim.
Sizden başlıyorum. Soner Bey'e de veriyorum. Okay.
Çok sağ
So
olun.
they deserve a medal, huh? And we have also small certificates of. So to Mr. Soner. Ange is. Güzel.
Oh, I get a medal as well. Wow, thank you. Thank you.
We have also for Miss Ho.
All right, certificate for Helen. Round of applause for Helen. Emily. Hassan.
They are my. They are my staff.
Son olarak bir Kütahya'dan bir seramik. Bu da Azide Hanım'a takdim edilmek gerekiyor.
So this is something for you as the organizer. Okay, to Miss
Şöyle
Ho.
fotoğraf alalım.
You should come forward for that. Şöyle yapacağım.
Tamam.
Şöyle.
Tamam.
Okay. So
Wow.
This is a traditionally Turkish handcraft. For you? Yes. Okay. We should take a photo. Good photo.
Final applause. All right. Ooh. Did I get it? All right. Thank you so much again, Ambassador. Thank you so much to the dancers. Now we are getting into another part of today's program, and I would like to invite Gloria Karengare to come and help us moderate this panel. And I guess I will introduce our panelists for today. Yes, so I'll start with Dr. Meli Barut. I think he will join us via the technologies. He will join us virtually. And then we have Adiam Gafu, COO of Arts Help. Yes, a round of applause. Thank you. We have Lois Hurst, Second Secretary, Political and Economic, Australian High Commission, Kenya. Thank you so much for joining us. And we have Ambassador Robert Masozera, DG of the Rwanda Cultural Heritage. And so I think that's it. We have Wendy. Sorry, Wendy. We have Wendy Jalen, Artistic Director of Anikaya Dance Theatre. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will let Gloria take over from here.
Thank you, Sonia. Good afternoon to everyone. I think it's still in the afternoon. Maybe I should start with reminding us that this is the 8th edition. Yay for that. What was that word? 8th edition. Thank you, thank you. This is the 8th edition, and we've come a very long way. I know Hope doesn't always go into those details, but a round of applause for her, because we couldn't have gotten to where we are today without her vision. So a round of applause for Hope. So this year, the festival theme is Go Forth, and in keeping with that, we'll start off the festival with this panel. The panel, as has been introduced or has been said before, is about cultural diplomacy. And I feel like the ambassador already kind of told us what that is. So those of you who didn't know what it is, now you know. What is it? Can I have a volunteer, please, people? We need to interact. A volunteer. What's cultural diplomacy, yes? Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for him. I would also like to remind us that I think it must have been November 2021, Rwanda joined the Global Public Diplomacy Network for the very first time. That is a very big achievement for us. Without further ado, I'll start us off with the panelists. I know that Sonia has already introduced your names, but I want you to kind of tell us briefly about yourself. Sorry, do we have Dr. Meli on? Do we have him on? Are you with us? Yes, there you are. So if we could have each one of you quickly give a brief introduction about yourself before we delve into the discussion. Let's start with Dr. Meli. Just a small, brief introduction.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. If you hear me, okay, it's great. My name is Melih Barut. I am the former Secretary General of Global Public Diplomacy Network, and currently I am running the Yunus Emre Institute Cultural Diplomacy Academy. Azeda, Ms. Hope and I met in GPDNet 7th General Assembly held in Doha, and all of a sudden we decided doing something, and this is, I guess, this is the product of this meeting, and I hope this will grow and go up and forward as the motto of this session. So I guess for introduction, this is enough for myself. I have a lot to tell during my presentation, so I save my time to there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, Adiam.
Hello? Yes. Hi, my name is Adiam Gafu, and I am the Chief Operating Officer at Arts Help, a Canadian-based arts not-for-profit. And yeah, so by the way of Canada, of Eritrean descent, so I'm very happy to be here.
Really? Hello. Hello. Look, my name's Lewis. I'm from Australia. I'm more recently from Nairobi because the Australian government is represented by our High Commission in Nairobi, but we cover the 6 countries of East Africa, sort of up from Somalia, Burundi, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I work on our public diplomacy operations in the High Commission, amongst some other hats, and have previously worked on some of our public diplomacy initiatives in the South Pacific, where Australia is perhaps a little bit more well known than we are over here in Africa.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ambassador Robert Masozera. I'm working for a government public institution called Inteko y'Umuco, so the Rwanda Cultural Heritage Academy, which is affiliated to the Ministry of Youth and Culture. Apart from that, I came from a diplomatic background as well, because I have served for how long? Over 15 years in the diplomatic service, mostly in European countries. So that's for my presentation. I'm married with, I have 2 children, so I'm very pleased to participate in this panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Wendy?
Hello. Okay. My name is Wendy Jalen, and I am the choreographer and artistic director of Anakaya Dance Theater, which is marginally based in the United States, but our company is made up of dancers from around the world, and the rest of them will be here soon. I have 3 daughters, if we're doing family. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and you're welcome. So let's start off with Dr. Melly, if you can hear us. Dr. Melly, you can hear us? Yeah, I think you're on mute.
Okay, now it's okay, I guess, right?
Yes, please go ahead with your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, it's my pleasure and honor to be with you and addressing such a distinguished audience, if not physically, but virtually. Well, first of all, I should extend my thanks to Miss Hope Azeda and her GG team. I mean, GG means in Turkish good, beautiful. However, in GG stands for go-getters. They are really doing everything possible. So in this session, I would like to talk about the cultural diplomacy future and now. My presentation will be composed of 2 parts. The first part, I would like to give you some insights about now, what we are doing, how we are doing. And I guess we need to revisit the traditional diplomacy, public diplomacy, cultural affairs, and the public affairs and cultural diplomacy. In the second phase, I would like to give you some insights about the decentralized virtual worlds, which is commonly known as the metaverse platforms, which platforms we have, and NFTs, games, and their unifying impact on cultural cultural diplomacy. So to say, in the first session, I would like to give you some insights about the comprehensive diplomacy ecosystem, and in the second part, we are going to talk about the virtual cultural diplomacy ecosystem. Okay, let's go. Okay. So consider that there are two countries, country A and country B, and of course they have their own government. In this slide, I'm going to give you the picture how the comprehensive diplomacy ecosystem works. So for the people who are out of this domain, and government A and government B, of course they have their own public. When I say publics, I mean the men, women, and children, fellow citizens, communities, NGOs living in country A, and the same is valid for the country B. This is traditional diplomacy. Traditional diplomacy, when we say traditional diplomacy, we mean that government to government, state to state, diplomacy. I mean the relations which are orchestrated by the diplomats. The diplomats, when we say diplomats, of course, we understand that they're highly educated, very well trained, experienced people who are orchestrating this domain. So this is very fragile and this is very delicate work to do. Okay, this is the traditional diplomacy domain, and now I would like to give you some insights about the public diplomacy. Since when we say public diplomacy, I mean today we are going to talk about the cultural diplomacy. Cultural diplomacy is some sort of subset under the public diplomacy. Public diplomacy is basically engaging with the foreign public in order to create mutual understanding and dialogue for peaceful and prosperous shared futures. So country A is intensifying all its existing efforts, strategic communication and strategic engagement efforts to the publics of country B. So it's vice versa is also so valid. So this is the public diplomacy efforts of government would be on the publics of A. And also, again, public to public. This is the most valuable thing, since the public civilian initiatives are taking the control and they are conducting their own public diplomacy effort, which is the case today. Ubumuntu Art Festival. This is amazing thing that I have met all around Africa. All right, so let's go ahead. So another thing, maybe I should also cover this public affairs. This is the multiplier effect, the positive impact gathered from the publics of foreign audiences and reflecting the impact to their own public. So if you are getting positive effect, you are sending it the sender is sending the same positive effect to its people. So this is creating a unifying effect between the people. All right, so this is the current comprehensive diplomacy ecosystem. So when we say public diplomacy, there are some components, which is the case. We are supposed to talk about the cultural diplomacy, science diplomacy, sports diplomacy, gastro diplomacy, especially the one. So entrepreneurial diplomacy, educational diplomacy, military public diplomacy, interfaith diplomacy, health diplomacy, and environmental diplomacy. These are the basic forms of the public diplomacy. And today we are going to concentrate on the cultural diplomacy. What does cultural diplomacy mean? I'm not so sure if I'm going so fast or not, but I have limited time and I would like to give everything that I have in my slides. That's the reason I'm running. So when we take, as a definition, cultural diplomacy, building common ground and mutual understanding between the peoples of different cultures through music, fine art, literature, cinema, performance art, traditions, history, and language learning. So concerts is the one part of it. Festivals are also the same, and exhibitions, conferences, and the cinema and TV series. Actually, I was supposed to give my talk on the Turkish series, since we have conducted a great research all around the world with the participation of around 5,000 people But I thought that since I am participating in this virtually, I should talk about the virtual diplomacy. So building why we are doing all these efforts in order to build confidence for our common future. Okay, these are the tires of diplomacy, traditional diplomacy since 1648 for the ones who are out of this discipline. So in that state, we have initiated. I mean, not we, Westphalian peace treaty that ticks off the state system. So since then, we are conducting traditional diplomacy up until now. And after that, with the Web 2.0, we have started talking about the digital diplomacy. And it seems that in the future, with the advent of the Web 3.0, we will be talking about the virtual diplomacy. Okay. Now, from this on, I would like to give you some perspective about the. I know altogether we are going to explore virtual cultural diplomacy ecosystem. So lately there is a word which is commonly heard all around the world. Metaverse. People are saying metaverse because here metaverse style like old McDonald's song. You know, what is metaverse? Metaverse, a universe or universes where we will be able to perform all our activities that do not require physical presence. Some people are also defining this domain as the next big thing after internet. So the word is not a new one. So it's metaverse as a term first flipped by Neil Stephenson in 1992 in the novel known as Snow Crash. Okay, what is this? Up until now, we were sitting down our screens in front of our screens, and we were surfing around the internet. But now, by using special instruments, Google, and maybe lenses in the future, we are going to dive deep into the depth of internet, and we will be there virtually, do what we are doing in the real world, there in the other side of the domain. Okay, but how we are going to do that? We are going to use our avatars, and frankly speaking, this is not a new thing. This is the whole process. So I'm sure most of you would remember the movie called Avatar. So Avatar, they were getting into the capsules, and they were connecting to the other universe. Now the universe is there, metaverse is there, but now we are going to use our Googles, and we will get there. Okay, so when we say metaverse, we should be talking about the platforms, payment forms, cryptocurrencies, virtual shopping experiences, games, digital art, and NFT markets. So these are the basic technologies which shape the metaverse: artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. These are the pillars. These are the 6 pillars of metaverse or digitalized virtual worlds technology. So the idea here is that decentralization. This is the keyword for us. I mean, this idea declines everything, every authority. So this, in that way, we are creating ourselves a new area. Okay, pandemics, the latest pandemics that we are passing through, actually, the cases are increasing in Turkey. However, provided us some sort of oxygen for making use of the metaverse platforms. So this area, I mean, when we say metaverse is some sort of the attraction for millennial, Generation Z, and Generation Alpha. So this is going to be their world in the future, and things are changing. And here I will show you. Just before we all together viewed the great performance, which is executed right in front of you. So this was some sort of show. But the nature of the show is going to change. Therefore, the cultural diplomacy forms are going to change in the future. In the slide, you see the Travis Scott. He's a very well-known rapper. He had gave a concert in Fortnite game platform. Consider, okay, when you want to join a concert, when you want to go to concert, you directly go to the concert hall. But this concert is given in game platform called Fortnite, and almost 45.8 million people joined this concert live, and 120 million people watched it online through YouTube. And the shoes that he was wearing during the show gave a brand value of $518,000 to company Nike. Okay, let's see what's happening. What was it like?
This right here is astronomical. I see you picked up on my ways. I feel responsible. You feel me?
Yes, this was some sort intro from the Scott concert. And in 2021 was an important year for all of us. So Meta is converted to Metaverse. Facebook converted to Meta, and all of a sudden, Metaverse idea became more popular globally. And probably most of you would remember, this is the new art form. We call it NFTs. I'm sure some of the participants, some of the panels would talk about that. Non-fungible token. In that way, it has also started to be popular. So in 2021, Christie sold this artwork to $64.3 million US. This is just the start. A 12 years old coder from UK, you see his artwork. He called it Weird Whales, and he made for about $4,100 US out of it. And this is the Cool at the Crux Out work done by Turkish kids. And okay. I should say that the incredible things are happening through technology. Okay, this is another work from Refik Anadol. He's very well-known Turkish NFT artist. He's living in California. His work about Kasabat law, I will show right now. This is exhibited in New York. Fifth Avenue is right in front of the Rockefeller Center. Well, things are changing, and we also are supposed to change ourselves. We also are supposed to position ourselves in accordance with the necessities of the future. So the games are very important for us. I mean, especially the Roblox. I'm sure that most of you know that. If you don't know it, please go and ask your kids. They are the citizens of this universe. So Metaverse, established in 2006,
Okay, I don't know what happened there, but have we lost him? Maybe as we try to find out what happened, I would like to thank Dr. Meli for that very comprehensive and diverse overview about cultural diplomacy. I think he gave, I'm hoping that the panelists present here today are going to break it down for us a little bit so that it's a little bit easier for us for those of us in the room, to digest. So if I could start with, from Wendy. Wendy, if you could tell us how you have contributed to cultural diplomacy and why you chose that area of focus. Break it down for us so we see how cultural diplomacy works in real life.
So it's interesting, as I was watching this presentation, I was thinking that people live in very, very different worlds from each other.
Somehow you have to be there.
Sorry, Dr. Melly? Please proceed. Had you finished?
Okay, do you hear me?
We kind of lost you there.
Okay. Okay, so do you hear me right now?
Yes, we hear you. If you could wrap up because we're running out of time.
Okay, let's go. Okay, these are the platforms that are the popular platforms of metaverse. So Decentraland, one sandbox, another one. An OVR is the real one, and you can easily build your art gallery there, and people can go in there and explore your work. And this is I guess this is important. So I should a little bit take time on this. The nature of the engagement is changing. The exhibition, the theaters, biennales, fashion shows, all are going to be executed in this virtual world. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm deeply apologize for going so fast. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Melly. Thank you very much for that. Wendy, if you can proceed. Yeah.
So what I've been thinking when I was watching this is that people, we live in such completely different worlds and we work in completely different ways, and I think all of them are valuable. My own work is not something that can take place in the metaverse. We work with bodies, and we work with touch, and we work with sharing space together, breathing together, which has been a challenge during the pandemic. But I work in dance, and I work cross-culturally in terms of across national borders, continents, but also within communities between people who might ostensibly be of the same community but never have any contact with each other. For example, between neighborhoods in Boston. And in my experience, dance is a way that we can recognize our common humanity directly without even needing to. There doesn't even need to be a conversation, but it brings up conversations. I've been doing this work since as long as I can remember. My first experience was when I was. My first international experience was when I was 15. I went to Latvia with a cultural diplomacy program that was part of bridging the former Soviet Union and the US, because I'm old enough for that. And it was life-changing. I'm still in touch with the people that I worked with there. The connections that are made through this kind of work are incredibly strong and incredibly deep. And then my most recent is, of course, here, where I'm giving a workshop with the rest of my company, with dancers in Kigali, and we're performing tomorrow. So it's bridged that amount of time. I'm not going to speak as long as you did.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. We get what you mean. You practice it through dance.
Yes, through dance.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, and all of the discussions that come out of dance and that happen through dance, and yes.
Okay, thank you, Ambassador. How do you contribute to this area of cultural diplomacy, given your focus area?
Thank you very much. What we are doing is in line with what we are discussing here, actually, because our institution has the mission to preserve the national culture of Rwanda, to safeguard the national language and the culture of Rwanda and its values, because they are the foundation of our national unity and dignity. So this mission gives us another specific responsibility to promote artistic creations in all its aspects. So we really have a very wide scope of activities, as we range for art, exhibition. We also operate national museums and heritage sites across the country. So we do a lot in cultural tourism. In cultural tourism, we do a lot. So as the ambassador of Turkey said, we understand cultural tourism, cultural diplomacy as the soft power of culture, because the culture really has this capacity to make a country's culture to be very well known by the global audiences, and also to help a country better understand others as well. So we have that experience, and we have seen that really the artists are the best and the most effective ambassadors we have of the country, because they really have this facility to reach out to people, to young people, to non-elites, outside the normal circuit of embassies. So they have that power. So what we do specifically, as far as cultural diplomacy is concerned, we do a lot, but maybe two examples. Example number one, we work closely with artists, and we provide them support, both when they are performing here in Rwanda, but also when they are going outside Rwanda. So we have seen that they are really the best flag bearers of our country. Another example, we work closely with our embassies outside Rwanda, so across the country, and the Rwandan living abroad, because they are really playing a very important role in cultural diplomacy. So this is what we are doing, and we do it in supplement to other efforts, of course, because as Ambassador said, cultural diplomacy complements other forms of diplomacy, economic diplomacy, political diplomacy, to achieve some specific goals. So that's what we do in partnership with also others. So this is what I can say for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Lois, what do you do in your focus area that contributes to cultural diplomacy?
Oh, well, not a lot, really. I think in comparison to, shaping the people's bodies in ways to express sort of emotion, etc., and manning cultural institutions and national heritage, or even working in the sort of digital space and in things that I don't really understand. I think within embassies, and with all due respect to the ambassadors in the room, we play quite a minor role. We're merely sort of at the fringes of a national identity. So ultimately, cultural diplomacy is part of our core business, but we don't really create it. We're just there to try and to find ways to highlight it and to build connections. So I'm just a little bit curious, because my broad experience in East Africa, people know Australia. They often, as a country, they are aware of it. Whether they can put a pin on a map, less certain. But just out of interest, I don't want to subvert the moderator's style here, but I'm just quite curious if anybody is willing to put their hand up and just sort of say the first thing that might come to their mind if I said, what can you tell me about Australia? Does anybody got an idea? Literally. Very good. Anything else? Vegemite, that's a good one. I like it.
Dangerous jellyfish.
Dangerous jellyfish. Now, interestingly, it's very true. I reckon that's a pretty good spectrum of Australian features that I think is common to all of my time in missions overseas. People think, particularly in Africa here, people think of dangerous animals. They might want to go there to study, and it's a very long way away. And they're quite strong narratives for Australia that really seem to resonate with everybody. But it'll surprise people. I mean, well, it shouldn't surprise people, I should say, that, in fact, Australia is a lot more than that. Every country is multidimensional, that there are a number of different stories that we can tell. And I think then as diplomats, it's our job to try and find the best, most truthful, most resonant stories so that we can tell them in the most effective way. But actually, diplomats are not very good storytellers. We like to say things in a lot of words that don't say a lot, because that then protects us and minimises the risk that we take on. So we like to make sure that we empower really people like the fellow panellists to go out and create things funded by us, endorsed by us, and that's really partly why we want to be involved in this festival, is that it encourages people with true creativity that are champions of their own stories nationally that can go out and find the connections and share them with other people. So very happy to not say too much more than that, except that I'm really happy to be here and listening to the stories that are being created and already being inspired in ways that we can help create more of a knowledge and a more nuanced, richer story about Australia in Rwanda. I think it's a very special occasion, so thank you.
Thank you, Lewis. Adiam, what do you do?
So maybe I'll start by saying that our organization is an example of cultural diplomacy. We have team members that are in 11 different countries, and navigating the time zones and language and sort of cultural knowledge in itself, our organization is an example of that. We navigate that through learning about people's perspective. We learn about their holidays, their forms of art that are popular in their region. And so just in itself, like our organization, I feel like is a form of cultural diplomacy itself. But aside from that, we are a digital arts-based not-for-profit. And so in our capacity for cultural diplomacy and digital diplomacy, as we heard earlier, we've created a network and a social media following that gives us a platform to exchange and to share art from around the world. And this is not a pitch for our company, but we've created over 300 pages with over 20 million followers, and we use that as a foundation for artists to be able to share their work, but also use it as a way to network and create opportunities for themselves. And because art is this universal language that you don't have to speak the same language, but you can still appreciate art, we use that as a way for us to connect our community of artists together.
Thank you, Adiam. So following on from what you have all done in your focus areas, I would like to link it to the why of Ubumuntu Arts Festival. And I do remember that when this vision started, or rather the vision was more about not just having performances on stage, but giving education, being educative, telling your stories, but the idea was to, let's find a solution for some of the issues we're facing in our daily lives. Now, taking from that, the festival attracts a whole range of people. And some of these are the young people. And today, I think we've had narratives around the youth are the leaders of today or tomorrow. How would you appeal, now, and also given what cultural diplomacy does, how would you appeal to the young people today to build those cultural bridges? If I could, do I start from here or volunteers? Or do I start back from Wendy? Oh, no. Dr. Melly, I hope you had the question. I'll get back to you as well. I'd like to hear your take on this. Did you hear the question?
I'm listening. So.
Or let me start with you. How would you appeal to the young people today?
Oh my God.
Don't worry, easy question.
Yeah, no, actually, okay. Well, from my point of view, you are asking how we are going to engage with the youth, young people. I mean, in one of the slides, I showed you the generations. I mean, I'm not millennial anyway. I'm Generation X. Some of the guys sitting on their chairs are from they are millennials and Generation Z and Generation Alpha. So from my point of view, they are already engaged with each other through the digital platforms. I mean, one of our panel told that we are executing our shows with our bodies. We are engaging with our figures. However, these kids are different. Their software is different. That's why they are there as the citizens of Roblox community, I would say. And if you are sending your message and formulating your messages in accordance with their understanding, they can easily connect with them. This is my point of view. I know. Is that so complicated? No.
No, we understood. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very
Wendy?
much.
I also think that when we talk about engaging young people, as I said, I have 3 daughters who are 17, 20, and 20, and they are already engaged. I don't think they need us to engage them. They are leaders in their own right. Not speaking only about my personal daughters, but I think the kids are all right. They are ahead of us. And I think that's always true. I think it's always been true. It will always be true that they have already taken what they need and they are moving ahead. Just working with the group that I'm working with here is pretty young, and they are smart. They have really, beautiful things to contribute to the conversation about the artwork, and they are, adding. We've been working in this field. The dancers in the company are, older, and we've been working in this field for a long time, and we are learning from them. So I think, getting out of the way is good, and supporting them, and giving them what we have, and then getting out of the way.
That is a very strong lesson, getting out of the way. Ambassador?
Remember that I told you that our institution is affiliated to the Ministry of Youth and Culture. And I told you also that we operate national museums and also the public cultural spaces. So our favorite audience in museums, in the public spaces are the youth. So what we have seen as far as museums, for example, are concerned, the biggest competitor of museums and library services or libraries, they are the screen, they are smartphone. So young people are very much, attached to these modern tools, digital tools. So what we are trying to do is to introduce the use of digital technologies in all what we are doing. So the engagement of youth is very, very important. And I want, on this note, to congratulate, actually, Ubumuntu Art Festival, because they have this capacity to reach out to the youth very, very easily. So through art, through artistic creations. But for what we do, that's what I can say. We really see that the youth are engaged, but they need really appropriate methods to reach out to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Lewis?
I thought you were going to take volunteers.
No.
Just to take a little bit of a step back, not to take us too far back, but I think, there's a lot of youth in this room, and I wish I could give a cry of appreciation, support in the way that was given before with the Turkish dancers, because that was pretty bloody impressive. But I think that that kind of irreverence and sort of and emotion and joy, I think, is actually what is really what youth is about. And oftentimes, to get the most out of people in that way, it's just about connecting to them and what they care about. And I think, like everybody, it's about trust and respect and understanding that they are appreciated and that there's hope and a space for them in the future. So I think sometimes we feel as if there's something outside of people, whether it's a historical fact or an idea or some way of being that we've got to try and express to people, when realistically it's about how do they relate to the world and how can they move forward in it. And I think that by trying to be a bit more human, and I've loved this talk of humanity this morning and kind of the bringing things back to making people at the centre. If you can design it for a human, you're designing it for the youth as well. I think it's when we put the ideas or the concept first that it becomes a little bit difficult then to communicate it.
Thank you so much. Adia?
I think for us, one of the most important things when engaging youth is to meet them where they are. The youth and what they're interested in a lot, and Ambassador alluded to this, but is technology. And using technology responsibly is a way to engage with the youth. In our organization, we meet them at pop culture events that they want to go to. And we educate them there, where they are, in their language. We create TikTok videos to engage with them, and they're learning things, but in a way that is relatable to them. It's understandable, they enjoy it, and just meeting them where they are is the most important thing. You can't expect someone to understand something if you can't even speak the same language, right? And so there is sometimes that generational gap in communication styles that we also have to be very aware of. And so that's why, like I said, we use technology and we meet them where they are.
Thank you so much. You want to
add a little something?
Yes.
I'm listening and thinking at the same time, and something that's very important to me personally, and also to our work in Anakaya, is recognizing that the boxes that we have created in our minds around groups of people are just imaginary. So even just talking about this idea of the youth as a group of people that is somehow separate from people a month older, or that there is a line that is between this group of people and this group of people because of age, is actually not reality. Something that people often say, like, is, in my day we didn't do it that way, and so now I don't understand it. But anyone that's alive now has lived through the entire period in which the youth were growing. So we all have access to that same information. I think thinking about like the migrations project that we're doing here, performing tomorrow with the young people here, the last time that we did this was well, I guess I did it in Palestine a little while ago, but before that we did it in Boston. And the age range of the dancers was 13 to 87. And there was no need for any kind, there's no difference between the 13-year-old and the 87-year-old, except for that the 87-year-old is a little bit less unsteady. But the 13-year-old is also wobbly. So I think it's important for us to also try to not imagine more boxes that are only keeping us from being able to meet each other where we are.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for that. And in the spirit of meeting people where they are, I kind of want to open this up to all of you, because I'm sure some of you might have questions that you want to ask. I don't know if we have any online questions, but please, no? Yes, no? Okay. Is there anyone who wants to ask a question? Anyone who has a burning question? Please feel free. There is no structure. Okay, question, comment, supplement, observation, whatever. If you want to contribute to the discussion, please.
Thank
Yes.
you. Hello, my name is Mugisha Frank, and I'm an artist, and I'm from here, and I'm happy to be here. I think that the youth need infrastructure here. I think we need places where we can go and exchange. Places, like Mashirika, where we can all be in the same space and physically do all these things you're talking about. And we need, and for some of us that have chosen it as a career, we need institutions to know that this is the process through which I become a professional in this field that I've chosen. So I think, and also I think it's important that we talk about the youth, because we are, of course, I understand, it's all politics of recognition and all that, but I think that, we are the majority. We are very many here. And so I think it's important that we talk about the majority of our population and what is it, how can we support them more. And for me personally, from my experience as an artist and my needs as an artist, I think that what we need is infrastructures and training and, like institutions that can formalize it for those who choose to go that kind of way, because we lack it here. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I think the youth have spoken, or they are still speaking.
You? All right. My name is Sicelo Xaba, preferably called Malome. Malome means uncle. Look young, but I'm no more a young person. I'm working with young people. So I'm here as a representative of Impilo Mapanzola, which is invited at the festival by Hope. And we come from South Africa doing Isipanzola. It's a flat-footed type of an energetic dance that originated in South Africa. So it is spreading across African continent. All right, my thing is not a question as such, is that what I can relate to my brother here, what he just said about infrastructure. But because I was once a young person before whom experienced the challenge and the struggle about the facilities where we can work and express our madness as creative people. So as time goes by, we as Impilo Mapanzola, because we are a movement, we are not a dance group or a dance company, but a movement with different companies, different individuals and expertise within the creative sector. What we end up saying, instead of maybe complaining with the little that we have, we can find a way of helping each other and helping other creatives. By so doing is what? Because we lacked a training facility. What about we empower each other with the little money that we get from performances and so forth, and then start to build the dance studios in our townships? Because where we come from, the theaters and other dance studios are in town, and it's far for young people to go to town and get the training there or get to be exposed in theater or other art forms. You find where we stay, there are no museums, as my elder was talking about the museums and other public spaces which are for art. We don't have that. So we decided that, with the little that we have, we can empower each other. If we have to have a certain amount of money, we can deduct a certain percentage and say, we can start with this one, let's build him a studio. And then we look at the geographical space of saying, where do they need most of the studio? Or where can we start with the first studio? The first one, we build it on the east end of Gauteng province. The second one, we build it on the western province. The third one is on the south. The fourth one is still in the central. So we're trying to get other help as we grow, but with the self-empowerment of saying the very same spaces, we use them to empower the youth, to make them be exposed in the art. The very same youth, what we did last year, we did a festival called Film in Dance, whereby we teach, we workshop the dancers. At the same time, we're workshopping those who are going to film the same dance. So the workshop for those who are using the cameras, doing photography and filming, are going to film the very same event, while we workshop other dancers. So trying to expose the young people in two different things, in what they can relate to, as my sister just said, of saying they outreach these young people and talk to these young people and help them in whatever they are already doing. So we started by doing that in Piloma Pantsula, and then we managed to say, okay, if we can empower these young people, we managed to take some of the young people overseas by exposing them in different events. And by so doing, we started to see a change in our community, which I can relate it to today's topic of cultural diplomacy. So it's what we are trying to do on a daily basis, because we can talk about cultural diplomacy, but there are basic things that we need to look at too. If I don't have a working space, for me, sometimes it gets useless for me to go to town and get whatever workshop and then come back. And then what happens the next day when there's no festival, when there's no workshop, when there's no what, and I still want to continue and train and practice and share my skill with other young people, so that maybe by the time the Ubumuntu comes back, the festival, I'm able to say, this was my first time, and then this time I brought such young people who are able to go, which means there was an impact, there was a change that I did through the platform that I created. So this is what we are looking at, of saying, if we have your support, if we have the infrastructure, like my brother say, I think the contribution is going to grow more, the change is going to grow more, because all of us, we have different expertise in this creative field, and how do we use art or a platform of creatives to change people's lives. So this is what I think. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else who has something, a burning comment, something you don't want? There's a hand right there. But if we could keep our comments brief, where we need to wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Happy from Uganda, Africa, and on Earth. Yeah, so mine are not questions. First of all, my brother has talked about it. Infrastructure is one of the first thing. Then for me, what I see is inspiration. Inspiration, most of the youth don't get inspirations. Like where I come from, many people are not inspired, because like if they see an artist, some artists in my country, they don't care about others. If they get an opportunity, they try to keep it for themselves, and many youth don't get inspired. So if you tell someone that there is some good money in art, he will tell you, no, you are lying, because I know someone, he's getting nothing. So that's one of the most problem we face in my country. People are not fair. When they get opportunities, they keep them for themselves. And when they ask them that, do you have more youth who dance? They are like, no, I'm the only one from there. So such people are a very big problem. Then the second thing is unfairness. In our art industry, there is a lot of unfairness whereby someone can call you to work for him at his certain festival, and he promises to pay you, but after working for him, giving him the good things he wanted from you, he turns his back. He doesn't pay you. He treats you badly. So all that makes us lose hope, and we turn to other things, and we are like, art is not necessary in our lives. So if we work hard, whereby we need people like you to come and help us, because we are facing a very big problem of people, they are called conmen. conmen of fake people. They come to us, they use us, and we feel so tired. And we are like, no, let's leave this art, let's do something else. Yet the right people are there, but they can't find us, and we also can't find them. So I don't know how we shall do it, because most of our people call it underground. In my country, many artists are so underground, including me. We are so underground. Yeah, so, and the last thing, then this is like self-confidence. People don't have self-confidence. And this is a very big challenge, whereby you tell someone that practice hard. There is a lot coming in front, in your future. So people are like, no, I can't make it. I can't travel. I can't do this. So self-confidence, my fellow youth. I don't know if there is a youth here. I think I'm only one. But if you are there, please have self-confidence in yourself. This will help us go more further. Yeah, so those were my points. And this is the last one about my brother from Australia. Yeah, he was asking what we know about Australia. I think I know 3 things in Australia. Australia is a beautiful country. Not so, am I lying? No. It has very beautiful people. And the third thing I know about Australia is that people from Australia love to know what other people know about Australia. Yeah, so thank you so much. Have fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contributions. I'm very time aware, so I would like to wrap up this. But before we wrap up, I would like our panelists. I would like to thank our panelists for making the time to be here. And as you give us your parting shots, if you could give us just in one sentence, what should we take away from the discussion we had today? Just in one sentence. Let me start. Meet people where they are. That for me is the one thing I'm taking away from this discussion. Who wants to go? You have the microphone, just.
Artists can do what conventional diplomats cannot do.
Thank you. I hope somebody's writing this, noting this down. Yes, Wendy, you want to go?
Is this on? Yes. I was really appreciating what our friend from South Africa was talking about pooling our resources and working together and decentering the places that have been established as the center. Really appreciate that.
Okay. Louis, your one sentence?
Oh, that's hard. No, I wanted to remark on that. I would never have thought this would be the word that would stick in my brain, but it is infrastructure, in that it's been mentioned, and I think that conceptually, infrastructure is a really interesting tool to walk away with. Because we've talked about human infrastructure, about creating the personal networks, the physical infrastructure of the network of dance studios. Fascinating presentation on the virtual infrastructure that still a mystery to me, but apparently that's the way of the future as well. But I think it's important then for us to work together to understand how best we can create the right infrastructure so that we can have the highest quality, most sincere, most truthful cultural diplomacy that we can.
Thank you. Adium?
Don't be scared of...
Continue.
Don't be scared to harness the use of technology. It is an amazing tool for artists. And it is a way to expand cultural diplomacy, to archive it, and also grow and learn from it. So that's...
Thank you. Dr. Meli, your parting shots, one sentence? or one
Yes.
phrase?
This time I'm the last. Okay, one phrase. It's really hard to minimize everything. You know, one word, one sentence, but I will try. So if you would like to make this old planet a beautiful place to live on, engage with the proper audiences by using the universal language of art, science, sports, and music. I mean, you can extend the details. So, and I believe that this is everyone's responsibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And with that, we come to the close of this session. I would like to, again, thank the panelists. Please, let's give them a round of applause. And a round of applause to you as well for staying through this. Thank you, and have a beautiful festival. We have, I think, 3 days now, starting tomorrow at the Genocide Memorial Site. So you're all welcome to the performances that will be there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Thank you to the panelists. I think that was very, very, all the information, the knowledge on NFTs. I'm with you, Lewis. I have no idea. I have no idea. I didn't even know there was a concert. I think they missed me in the emails. Yeah, but thank you so much from the audience, for the artists that gave their comments and their feedback. And once again, maybe I'll give you a little time to, shimmy back to your seats. Let's give them a round of applause while they get back to their seats. And like Gloria reminded us, this is the 8th edition. Wow, 8 years, Hope. Your baby's 8 years. Wow. Now is the baby's asking what, why, how. You know when 8-year-olds get at that point, they ask you why. Why? Why? And I think now we're going to ask why technology soon. But Adriam explained it to us, and also Dr. Millie. Now it's getting exciting. I hope you're ready. We're just getting started. Are you all ready? Yes. The youth. You are one, I am one. Apparently, there's only one youth. How many are there tonight? You're only one. Clearly, everyone else is not youth. And I'm seeing them. Or is it black don't crack? Yeah? But me, I'm youth as well. I think you forgot me. You didn't know? Now you know. Me too, I'm youth. Yeah, we are youth together. All right. I want to first give a hearty thank you and appreciation to our sponsors. I'd like to start with Aegis. Thank you very much. We can give them claps, everybody, as I name them. Thank you so much. Swiss Embassy. Yes, thank you. American Embassy. Don't get tired. It's the coffee. Conscious Crypto Creator, an initiative by Arts Help. Embassy of Rwanda in Israel. Yes. Australian High Commission in Nairobi. Awesome. Embassy of Germany. Ubuntu Grand Hotel that we are in right now, and we're about to sample their cocktails, and Ms. Bush. Eunice Emery Institute that was able to bring such an amazing dance. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was brilliant. Goth Institute. Yes. Wazobia FM Lagos. One more. The Tony Randall Theatrical Fund. Thank you so much to all our sponsors. We really appreciate the support. And as you can hear, the artists need the support. They need festivals like Ubumuntu Arts Festival to continue giving them a platform to express themselves, a platform to show their art and to show us, what inspires them and how they want to tell us their stories. Again, Gloria mentioned it's 3 days this year, so that's a huge milestone. Normally it's 2. But we're here for 3 days, so I think that's a huge thing, and we should round of applause on that as well. So we start tomorrow, and I hope everybody is energized, the artists are energized, and I can't wait. And yes, now we move on to the other part of our program. We have a cocktail event happening now, and I'd like to invite our entertainment for the night to usher us to the cocktail area. I think you can hear the bells. Are you guys ready to mingle? Yes. Oh, okay. Now you have energy for the mingle. All right. Oh, here we are. The drums are... All right. Thank you so much once again. And my name is Sonia Raguha, and I will see you tomorrow at the festival. Yes?